And good evening and welcome to another edition of Kearney Live. Apparently Lynn got an early start as he's been laughing ever since we walked in here. It's good to have you with us on this Wednesday afternoon. And we'll start off with some headlines. Congratulations to Kearney. I was going to say Kearney, like specific, like baseball, tennis, whatever, but everybody's knocking it out of the park, so everybody's winning. So just congratulations to the entire Kearney sports department over there.
Kearney's awesome.
Yeah, I know baseball did well. We've had story after story after story of everything that's going on. So congratulations to Kearney, period. That's all I got.
Yes.
That's good.
In other news, Porter's is having another grand reopening. They've got stores here in Kearney and in Smithville. And you can go to the celebration, and I'm not going to steal any thunder. I'm going to let Stacy talk about this.
Okay. Well, Porter's Ace Hardware Building Center has remodeled, and they've added all kinds of new items for sale, and they're super excited to share it with the community. So they're having their celebration coming up starting tomorrow and going through the weekend. And the Kearney Chamber will be there at, I believe it's 3:30. Is that right, Brian? Tomorrow? Brian's my secretary. And we'll
I'm
be
the
there.
president.
Oh, he's the president. Sorry.
Wonder if he knows that.
Yeah, do you know?
And we'll be there for a ribbon cutting to get everything kicked off. There's all kinds of giveaways and food and just fun stuff. Did you all know there's a Hallmark store there? Yeah.
Yeah, it was on the graphic.
It's great stuff. Go check it out.
All righty, well, let's take a moment. But yeah, everybody go over to Porter's tomorrow, and let's take a quick moment to say hello to Stacy's secretary. Hello, Brian.
I was not ready for that.
Who was?
I don't
Brian's
know. Not
totally fleek.
How are you?
Is that the right word?
me. I think so.
Did
Lip
I-
fleek or Riz.
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 Yeah. We learned new words from one of my interns this week, and I don't think we know the definitions, but fleek and Riz is our words.
Right.
So
I have no clue.
put it in the comments if you know what fleek and Riz mean.
Or don't. Got that coming up. You know what would sound good right about now, Stacy?
What, Jim?
Some music.
Brian, you want to play some music for us? Oh, that's
I
not
don't
what
think that's
you
what he
meant.
means.
Oh, okay. Well, hey guys, it's concert season. Who's going to some concerts this summer? So what's coming up this year at the Amphitheater? That's the question. We'll talk about it next here on Kearney Live.
There's something for everyone at the Kearney Enrichment Council. Spark Studios after-school programs at the old firehouse use STEAM-based activities to help kids learn, create, and find new hobbies and skills. The Enrichment Council supports our senior community with fun activities and necessary services at the Kearney Senior Center. All of Kearney comes out for our festivals, concerts, farmers markets, movies in the park, parades, and much more. The Kearney Enrichment Council, 106 South Jefferson Street in Kearney, 816-635-0566. Improve quality of life, find your place, build a better future in Kearney.
Welcome back. The Kearney Parks and Recreation Department has announced its summer concert schedule on the amphitheater stage. This is a pared down concert schedule from last season. Kearney kicks off summer events on Saturday, June 17th with the return of Shooting Star and Missouri. If you remember, that concert was canceled last year, I believe, due to heat, and so has been rescheduled for June 17th. If you have a ticket for that concert, it is still good and viable. On Monday, July 3rd, the city celebrates Independence Day with a free concert and a fireworks extravaganza. The city will have inflatables for all the kids and music featuring Kansas City Groove Therapy. And then the final concert, yes, I said final, and I'm only on number 3. The Kearney Amphitheater will host the Classic Rock Tribute on Saturday, August 19th. The Phil Collins Experience will take the stage. So that sounds like fun too. But that's it. And I don't know. It's pretty split out there. Some folks are not happy about that, and others are just fine with some of these great concerts. So are we making the most of our city asset? Let's talk about it. Jim, what do you think?
So to say that this topic, so on the KPGZ news page, this topic had over 114,000 people who reacted or interacted with this story. 114,000 people. So Kearney is a population of 10,000. So I'm going to say, and I'm just spitballing here, there's a little bit of interest in the amphitheater, just a little bit. One of the things that people have brought up is you have a large venue, a pretty good sized venue. It seats about 4,000, depending on how you put the people out there, that could hold quite a bit of. It's a great venue. I mean, it's got the overhang and the stage and all the accoutrements that go with it. Beer garden, very important. The beer garden,
the pond and the fountain. I mean, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, you've got all that stuff. So the question is, and that came up a lot in the discussion, is Kearney making the most of a city asset? The other thing was, a couple of people brought up the fact that the acts that are out there, but for Shooting Star, are, one guy said they're bar bands, which is kind of Casey Groove Therapy, if you've never seen them, they're a bar band. They're good, don't get me wrong, but they're a bar band. The Phil Collins Experience, I've never seen it. Be interested to see what that is. But
sounds good.
So I know when we went into Rona, they were making some steps going forward of trying to make a better use of it. And there was a scheduled production of The Music Man, which never happened because COVID took over. But there are other cities that you can use as an example. Gladstone has I wouldn't call it an amphitheater, but they have a stage in the park. I forget what they call it. They pack theirs every weekend. I mean, pack. Shawnee Mission has their theater in the park. They pack theirs on a regular basis, and they do all sorts of different things. They do a lot of plays, I guess is what you would call them. So I don't know. It appears to me that there is, just judging by the reaction from the people that interacted with this story, there is a tremendous interest in the amphitheater. And because that interest is there, it seems that there could be a lot more done with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think more can be done, and I think it's interesting that trying to drive down 33, it's 33, right?
Yeah.
I've lived here 13 years, and if there's something going on, it's always backed up, and it seems like there's cars, and it's hard to get down there if you're heading towards Holt. But I've only been down there a couple times to see different acts, and I've had a great experience when we went down there. Are they using it enough? I know last year they had Tate Stevens there, but Garth Brooks was in Kansas City, so there was hardly anybody there in Kearney. So is it hard finding acts that can perform on the weekends, or is this like just a set schedule that they have? I guess I'm asking this question because I thought last year there seemed like there was more of a schedule, more acts were coming. So is it harder finding acts coming off of the COVID stuff and
I don't
dates?
So to answer that question, having some experience with that, it's not the finding the act, it's having the contact to get the acts. So
and the budget.
In the budget. So you have to, it's a cost analysis thing, but to get the acts, what you have to do is you can't just go on the internet and book an act.
Right.
You're not going to do that. You're not just going to look up Journey and book
get
Journey
Journey.
on the internet. Not going to
Okay.
happen. But there are companies that you can interact with to do it. But there's a big cost analysis that you have to do with logistics and all that sort of thing, because you've got the way the amphitheater is set up out there. You brought up 33. If let's say you put a big act out there that would fill it up. And I'm gonna just throw something out there. You're not gonna get them. You wouldn't do them, but I'm gonna use Journey because I said it.
Okay.
But if you put Journey out there, now you have to put fencing up, just like they do out at
Yeah, you have
Liberty
to.
Memorial.
Right.
And then somebody has to patrol the fencing. So all that costs money, and it's logistics. You've also got the load in for the trucks and everything that comes in with these bigger bands.
Right.
So one of the arguments I heard is that you have to have the cost of the people who run the tech at the amphitheater, because supposedly our people, well, I say ours, Kearney people have to run the amphitheater. The thing is, if you get a big enough act, they carry their own people. You're not going to mess with their tech stuff. They do their own tech. My personal opinion is it's an underused resource, but the logistics of it takes some true thought. You can't just say, all right, let's throw 4 bands out there and call it good.
Right.
It takes, if you wanted to do a 2024 season, you need to start today.
Right.
I don't think we started on
Or
2023
last year.
until not too long ago, but
Yeah.
for Shooting Star.
Well, and I know there's some budgetary restrictions this year
That's what I was
with the
wondering.
city, but the great thing is they didn't just shut it down. We're still going to have some concerts, and on top of that, all but one of them, they're free. They're absolutely free
Right, that's true,
concerts,
too.
and they're totally family friendly. So you have to look at both sides of it, depending on what are you looking for. But if you're looking for free, something fun to go do with the family, and you don't have to worry about
Right.
things, unfamily friendly things, it's a great venue. And I think we should be grateful that we have it and that we are still utilizing it this year. And let's hope that in years future, we will be able to go back to the 5, 7, however many concerts. Maybe some other people will start utilizing it. Maybe we can have some larger concerts.
So
That
I have
could
a
be fun.
budget.
But we also have employees of the city who are doing this along with multiple other tasks throughout
Right.
the city.
She
Right.
stole
They're
my
mowing
next question.
lawns.
Yeah.
They're prepping ball fields. There's only so much
So it's
time
extra.
that
Yeah.
And that was going to be my next question. I don't know how much of the city staff, it's not only setting the things up, but working the actual concert.
Right.
Because you have to have
It's a lot of
the
extra
police
time.
are
It's a
out
lot.
there, ticket takers. If you have something that costs money, you've
Right.
got to have people there that are running everything. So all that costs money, and I
Mm-hmm.
get that. It is a tremendous asset.
Yes.
There are cities that would love
to have this.
to have something
That's
like
right.
that. So, I would love to see some bigger acts out there, but
Yeah,
again,
it'd be fun.
it takes a lot of work and a lot of resources to do it.
Well, I remember they had a young country singer come out. I mean, my boys were,
Travis Marvin,
was that who it was?
probably.
I mean, my boys were in high school and they were just all excited and they went. And I remember it was a big deal here in Kearney. This guy was coming and it was packed. I know it was really packed. So, the Phil Collins experience, that kind of excites me a little
Yeah.
bit. That's the 19th. Kel, that's your birthday. We're going. Happy birthday. No. So I really like Phil Collins. So I think that'd be neat to see something like that.
Yeah.
See,
I think
I-
those things are cool. To
See,
me,
I went to
like
Shooting.
Aerosmith and
I went
different
to
things.
Shooting Star back in the Memorial. What's it called out in KCK? I don't even think it's there now. Memorial Auditorium. Memorial. It isn't a Coliseum, but whatever. I saw Shooting Star, and that was back in the 1900s, and it was a long time ago. And if I'm in town, I'm going to go out there and,
I think
and
that'd
see
be neat.
Shooting Star. I think that'd be great, and
Yeah.
it'll be. I think Shooting Star is a good test of the venue because
Yeah, that's
there's a band with some name recognition. They're not, they're not unknown to the area. It should be a pretty decent draw, I would
Yeah.
think.
Another hint or tip for going out to the amphitheater, the Knights of Columbus take care of all of the food and beverage vending out there, and it's some of the best prices you're going to find anywhere. So don't be afraid to eat out at the amphitheater because it's good food and it's great prices.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and it all benefits the community because the Knights give the money back.
And that was going to be my next question. So when they do, I've been out there a couple times and they did that. And I don't know if the city allows for other community vendors. I don't know how that
So
works.
the Knights of
trucks.
Columbus is the vendor that has been selected by the city. However, if they say they don't want to do that event, then whoever's organizing can
Okay.
bring in other people. But you have to get the Knights either permission to bring in other people or if they choose not to do the event.
All right. Well, so don't forget those 3 events that are out there. If you need
Yes.
it, it's on the 102.7 website, 1027carneymo.com. You can get all the concert information, the tour dates,
Tour dates.
all the concert
Well.
dates, and all the information about that. So make sure you go to the Kearney Amphitheater this summer.
Yes.
Yes.
What you got, Lynn?
A Clay County woman loses $200,000 in internet scam.
Yikes.
We'll talk about that next on Kearney Live.
Migraine headaches, the throbbing in your temples, the pounding in your forehead, extreme sensitivity to light and sound. Your neck feels so tight it could snap off. Oh, the debilitating pain.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Strathman with Kearney Family Chiropractic Center, and I've been practicing chiropractic health in Kearney for over 22 years. When you come to see me, I identify what's wrong and determine if I can help you. If I can, I create your personalized plan for relief.
When you have pain, you can make an appointment by calling 816-628-6738. Or you can visit the office at 301 South Platte Clay Way, Suite B in Kearney. Kearney Family Chiropractic Center. Heal yourself.
Simplify your banking, simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Online, bill pay, e-statements, and mobile banking are available to give you a positive banking experience so you can get back to your life and activities. Kearney Trust also provides capital to people and businesses so they can achieve their goals. Whether you know exactly what you want or just need someone to talk to about your dream, you can speak with them and work on that dream. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
More reliable power means more of what you love. You expect your lights and appliances to turn on at the flip of a switch, and so does Platte Clay Electric Cooperative. That's why Platte Clay is working hard to make power more reliable in the Northland. We exist for one purpose: to empower communities and energize life with safe and reliable energy. To learn more about their plan to reduce outages across the Northland, visit www.pcec.coop/reliability. Platte Clay Electric Cooperative.
This happened right in Liberty. The Clay County Sheriff's Office reported a man called a victim of the scam, telling her of a cyber security service had expired. The victim had allowed the scammer remote access to her computer to fix the problem and told her that the company would refund the $1,500 for the subscription. He unfortunately told her that he accidentally sent the money twice, and he asked the victim to return the money to him via Bitcoin in Liberty, which I think that's kind of interesting. I didn't even know we had kiosks for
didn't either.
Bitcoin. For several days, he said he was working on the victim's computer and requested her to make deposits to various Bitcoin kiosks. The victim soon discovered $200,000 was missing from her bank account, and she contacted law enforcement. Stacy, it seems like there is another phone scam every
Yes.
month. How do we help these people?
Oh, gosh. This is my biggest fear for my mother. And, I actually was almost scammed just this past weekend. I had posted something on Marketplace for my mom. She wanted to sell some furniture. And as soon as I posted, I instantly had some hits. Now, I've never had this happen before, but I don't think I've ever listed anything at this price point. And so I responded to a couple of them and nothing panned out, but then this next one hit. And so I responded to it, and she was like, I don't live there, but my brother does. He'll come see it. Can you send me your PayPal or your Venmo or whatever, and I'll pay it. So we're like, okay. So we sent her the link to the Venmo, and she's like, no, I need this such and such link. And we're like, no, this is the link. Well, I need the email address for it. No, this is it. And we were discussing her responses in between, and so it was taking me a little bit of time to respond back to her, to this person, this AI, whatever. And they were like, hello. And so immediately I'm like, something's not right. And so I went to look up their profile, and there was nothing there,
Yeah.
And so immediately I wrote to them, I just put cease and desist, I'm reporting this. And I blocked it, cut it off, deleted it, all those things. But yeah, it was scary because I did get a little deep, I got down the rabbit hole. Fortunately, they didn't get anything out of us, but it's so easy to get sucked into it. So how do you help people? I mean, fortunately, I was doing this for my mom, but if she had been doing it for herself, would she have known the red flags to watch for?
See, I don't think most people do, and you're right. It's so easy to get sucked into it inadvertently, and I'll tell you a story of what happened to me just this weekend. But the problem is too with all this tech stuff. Even people like you who are somewhat tech savvy can get sucked into it easily. Yeah. But you kind of know the little pitfalls. You're like, wait, that's not right. That's not right.
Yeah.
But even still, these people are so good at it.
They're smart.
If they would use their talent into something useful, then we wouldn't have this problem. But the other problem is there's such a low conviction rate on this sort of thing.
Right.
So there's no downside to doing it.
Right.
A lot of these people aren't even in the country.
Right.
So once they get into your account or something like that, you're out. I guess my tip would be, if you're not, phone scams still go on too, although now we're looking more towards computer scams. But if you're not a computer savvy person, don't try getting on the computer and doing Marketplace or any of that stuff. If you're not familiar with Venmo and that sort of thing, the problem is for when we use PayPal, Venmo, or whatever, if we don't know you, pretty much we're not doing it for that reason, because there's just so many holes in it. And there are scams everywhere you turn.
Yes.
So even our good friends at Angie's List got me over the weekend because I was actually researching. I wanted to do a sump pump replacement.
Okay.
So I typed in sump pump, repair, and I was looking at some companies, and this company popped up, and it was local. And I was looking at their website and reading through all their stuff, and they're local and family owned and all this, that, and the other.
Sounds good.
That's pretty good. And I looked through it. I read through the pages, and I was like, I like these people. And so I filled out just a little thing. And the minute I hit enter, I had like 60 companies all of a sudden. And they're like, thank you for calling Angie's List. So Angie's List has a fake, and come to find out, I did some more looking because I've never used Angie's List. They have fake websites all over the place for everything. And it sucks you in. And then it gets you, now
Then
I'm
your
getting
numbers out there then.
Yeah, and I'm getting
Wow.
400 calls a day for, hey, thanks for calling us. And I'm like, I didn't
Oh
call
my
you.
goodness.
But the point of that is there are so many ways out there now that everybody is trying to get a hold of you or your information.
Yes.
And it is so easy, especially if you are not computer savvy to get in and type the right thing or the wrong thing. It's just like,
Yeah.
Facebook, everybody's fallen this scam. They say your account got hacked. It really didn't get hacked most of the time. It does sometimes, but what it did is it got cloned. Because
Right.
any idiot can go on there and
Right.
copy two or
Right.
three pictures, start a Facebook page, use your name
Yep.
and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
The email will be different, but no one else will see that. And then they've got you, all your friends are like, oh, I'm friends with them, and they get on. The same thing is, and do you have these pictures? Okay, so here's a common one that sucks people in. Let's use the dog. How many people have seen this? The poor dog that got hit by a car.
I haven't seen this one.
Oh, there's tons of them. And it says you need to forward this to all your friends
Yep.
and all this and the other. They're sucking people in. And once they get them to do that, then they get their information and they try to get them to send money for this dog that doesn't even exist. Well, the dog, I'm sure, existed somewhere, but that's not a real, that
I just-
didn't really
I just
happen.
saw that one.
There was, this
you?
dog
Yeah.
has been,
Yeah.
this dog gets around.
He's famous.
Because this dog
Famous
has
dog.
been in Smithville, Holt, you name
Yeah,
it.
someone put that on.
Yeah, it's that
Someone needs to
dog.
put a leash on that dog.
I know. Keeps getting hit in the road all the time. Here's another one. This one is, if Brian has it up, this one is the catalytic converter dude. So
Oh, yeah.
this guy gets around because he's been in every city in every country or every part of the United States stealing a catalytic converter. And the funny thing is, he has that same look on his face every time.
Wow.
This is a fake. It probably was real at one time, but what they've done is they copied
Just
it.
keep doing it.
And when they say share it to your friends, what they're doing is they're getting your friends list by you doing that. So here's we had a whole episode on this, and you can go back and look at it, and a Kearney Live replay. If you're going to forward this stuff and you don't know the person it came from, look it up and go research it. And it doesn't take 3 seconds to click on one of these and find out that, click on the person who originated it, and 9 times out of 10, it's one little picture.
Yeah.
It's not a real person.
Well, and this scam here happened. Sorry, Lana. My mother-in-law. This happened to her in Charlotte, and I remember her calling me, and that was like 12 years ago. So that's why I was shocked when I read this and saw this is kind of coming back
Still
around,
happening.
and people are falling for it. But she called and said, Len, they said they got access to they want access to my computer. What do I do? I said, don't respond, don't talk, don't do any of that. Well, when I first moved here 13 years ago, I was setting up my laptop and I got hit. And I remember I did something, and I remember going to my bank account and there was like $45 was taken out by something. So I called the number, and it was a hotel overseas. And so I called my bank and I'm like, what's going on here? What's the deal? They said, well, this is the new scam. They'll come in, they'll get access to your account. Just take a small amount because they feel like you won't miss it. And then they go spend the night somewhere in some hotel on you. And that's kind of the new process. So they refunded me the money, but they said, just watch. I think it was a kind of same deal, like saying because I was trying to set up my internet and everything, and I'm pretty good with the computers, but I'm like, what's going on here? I thought I had a virus, and it wasn't a virus. They just wanted access. And it cleared up after I gave them my number. And so they took $45.
Wow.
Yeah. So then they were spending the night somewhere overseas because I called the number. I didn't understand the guy, but I understood he said hotel something. And then when I traced it back to the bank, they said that's what's going on. And then the messenger thing. And what's interesting about the hack thing now, if you noticed, my mother-in-law was hacked but didn't change her password right away. Well, not hacked, whatever you want to call it.
Clone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on the comments below, now you have people that you don't even know are saying,
Right.
this happened to me, click on this. And I'm like, that's even gutsier. Because that's what I looked at my mother-in-law and I said, have you changed your password? She goes, not yet. I go, well, we need to do that. Because at least no one else will look on there and, click one of those. And then there again, your friend request, everyone has access.
Right.
And that's what happens is because I had a young lady talk to me, which is a friend of my wife's, and she says, hey, I saw your name through Messenger. You were one of the top 5 winning money. And so I looked at Kel and I said, hey, can you call Suzanne right now? Because I'm talking to her on Messenger. She says I won some money. And so when she called Suzanne, I typed back to the lady and said, hey, I'm talking to you on the phone right now. My wife is. Click, done,
Click,
conversation
yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean,
we had a person who worked for us, and I got this. It was either a message or something, and she's standing or there something about I got this. I just won this Mercedes, and I was like,
nice.
Really? You did? And so I actually called her because I was like, how did you win a Mercedes? And she goes, I didn't. They've hacked my, and all that. The other thing that's really sucking people in is if you'll see a news story and it'll say car wreck on I-35. In the comments, it'll say, here's video of the car wreck. Mm-hmm. That's the scam.
Right.
Once you click on that, they've got you. Again, make sure you know what you're clicking on. Make sure you know who the people are, because there are so many ways out there that they can get you, and there's just tons of them.
Well,
and
they
that's
can dub the videos now
Correct.
too, right? Like, because I sent you some videos of the planes doing certain things. You go, that's a fake.
Yeah, right.
Right? Because now they have access to do that stuff, so people are believing
AI.
what they're seeing, right?
Absolutely, it's AI. So one thing that Lynn brought up, and we covered this on a previous show too, it's kind of interesting how we are ahead of the game on so many things.
Yes.
But when you, as a financial tip, when you do certain things, use a credit card, not a debit card, a credit card. Because if someone hacks into your credit card, you're not out any money. The credit card company is, and you will get it, they'll take care of it. If you use your debit card, they can drain your account and you will spend months and months trying to get that money refunded if you get it at all. So if you're going to use something, use a credit card, not a debit card, a credit card. Now, the question is, can you use a credit card to purchase a product that is the most booming product right now in the state?
Yeah.
That product is marijuana. Let's talk a little more about that when we come back.
Simplify your banking, simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Online, bill pay, e-statements, and mobile banking are available to give you a positive banking experience so you can get back to your life and activities. Kearney Trust also provides capital to people and businesses so they can achieve their goals. Whether you know exactly what you want or just need someone to talk to about your dream, you can speak with them and work on that dream. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
Electric cooperatives are different. We have a sense of pride in our local community and support the people who live here. That's why Platte Clay Electric Cooperative supports local schools, takes an active role in economic development, and works hard to keep costs down for its members. We exist for one purpose, to empower communities and energize life with safe and reliable energy. To learn more about how Platte Clay Electric Cooperative is working to achieve that mission, visit www.pcec.coop. Platte Clay Electric Cooperative.
You may have noticed your shoulder hurting, or maybe a kink in your neck. The culprit may be looking right at you. Your phone. Think about how you use it. Does that pain feel familiar to you?
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Strathman with Kearney Family Chiropractic Center, and I've been practicing chiropractic health in Kearney for over 22 years. When you come to see me, I identify what's wrong and determine if I can help you. If I can, I create your personalized plan for relief.
When you have pain, you can make an appointment by calling 816-628-6738, or you can visit the office at 301 South Platte Clay Way, Suite B in Kearney. Kearney Family Chiropractic Center. Feel yourself.
And welcome back to Kearney Live. Once again, medical marijuana is how it started. Marijuana sales are on the increase in Missouri and have so far topped somewhere in the neighborhood of $250 million. That's $250 million. Adding in medical marijuana, I can say it, sales have been over $350 million. Sales are projected to be in excess of $1 billion this year in combined medical and recreational sales. Missouri's recreational marijuana sales totaled $91 million in April. According to the state's report, it's a jump of nearly $20 million from February's $71.7 million and near March's total of $93.5 million. We've been using marijuana for some time now. Not a collective we.
Not we.
But we as a state. And the question is, there are so many questions, and there are so many questions that are unanswered. I don't know who wants to talk about it first, but everybody's like, not me, nope. I'm out.
Brian?
So we'll start with you, Lynn.
There you go.
We're just now starting to see the tip of the iceberg. The sales are astronomical.
Yes.
Are we starting to see good things, bad things, medical help? What are we seeing?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. And that would be interesting to find out, is if you could talk to like Sheriff Aiken, or you could talk to someone that's in law enforcement to see if they see change or issues with people smoking that, because you can see the numbers are up, and you're saying $1 billion. And I'm still kind of dumbfounded by it a little bit, because I remember back in the 80s when I was growing up, it was like taboo to smoke marijuana, and now it's acceptable. And I shared with you guys a young man that I was training at my job, and he has the card, and he gets 4 ounces a month, and that's all he's able to get because he's in the system. So if he tries to go somewhere else and buy it, they will not allow him because he's only allowed so much. And I think they must determine that at the doctor's office. I don't know how that works.
Nope.
But he says he smokes an ounce a week, and it helps him with migraine headaches, and it helps him socialize with people that he doesn't outside his family. So it helps calm him where he can communicate and have conversations and not be quiet. So I don't really know. It's an interesting thing, because it seems like we're just going to keep talking about it. Now, is it something that's just going to mellow out? Not to use the word. But is it just going to kind of plateau and mellow out, or is it just going to keep going? And there's a reason they did it, right? There's tax money that the states are getting, and then you got the local aspect. And I voted no on it. I was not for it. I will say that. But are we going to use that money wisely?
Well, and we're supposedly everybody's cared about a recession and the economy right now, and no one can afford anything, but we can afford marijuana apparently?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm shocked at these numbers. I truly am.
Here's the thing, Stacy. Even before marijuana, people who are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, where do they go? The bar. They go drinking.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
My question would be, when you look at marijuana, one of the things they were trying to get around was, we have this problem with illegal drugs. The problem with illegal drugs, beside the fact they're illegal, is you don't know what you're getting. So the government is trying to find a way to control the product, right? Okay. So the theory is that you have less people who are being killed by some sort of marijuana that has other stuff in it.
At least with fentanyl or what have you.
Well, the problem is that the marijuana we have today is not the marijuana we had in the 70s, because it's been genetically altered, and they've added more THC and all that.
It's much more potent.
The doctors are starting to say that it's more addictive now than it was before.
Right.
So you're controlling it to a degree, but you've also made it more addictive. You are getting tax money from it. But money aside, are we helping society?
Right. Right. And all of this, for the most part, the majority of the communities that have passed this 3% tax on the marijuana sales that was allowed by federal law has all been designated towards public safety. What does that say to you?
Right.
That we have to tax
We're not ready.
a formerly illegal drug that is now legal, and we have to make sure we give the money to public safety so that I don't know. It's
Well, and
Yeah, that kind of doesn't make sense.
so
No.
where do you? And my thing is, where do you stop?
right.
Okay, so
Right.
now marijuana was like the thing when we were younger. Now what is it? It's fentanyl.
Fentanyl. So,
Yeah.
Well, so now are we going to make fentanyl legal so we
Oh,
can try and
gosh.
control
I
it?
hope
Are we
not.
going to make cocaine legal so we can try and control it? I mean, where do you
Well, it
draw
is in
the
California, isn't it? Don't they have
everything's
those
legal
heroin?
in California, but that was New York. The
That was New
heroin injection sites.
Yeah, where you could go in and just lay down on a bed and be safe and
I
do
think
your
that's
drugs
New
and-
York. Everything I think is legal in California. I don't
Yeah,
know they even.
I believe so.
I don't think they have any
believe
laws
so.
at all over there.
We're just
Right.
making stuff up.
Yeah,
now,
but
we don't
No,
know.
but there was that, I can't remember the name, the company, the distributor, they're kind of like a farm. There was pictures, I don't remember where, it was down south, I think, of Missouri, and they were talking about they're going to have to hire more people. I mean, so
Yeah.
they're trying to push it as, hey, this is creating jobs.
Right,
That
right.
we need
And
help here because we're
is.
distributing to so many different places in the state. So it's showing a positive in
Right.
job creation now.
Right.
So here's an honest question. As an employer, do you have the authority or ability to tell your employees that you cannot smoke marijuana and work here?
Yes, you do.
So at what point do we have employers that are like, we're not hiring anybody that if you smoking marijuana?
Yeah, they can do that now.
But what I
in
mean,
Missouri,
if
anyway.
more
I don't
and
know
more-
Is it
about
like
other
the cigarette?
states.
Is it like the cigarette where you have to go outside and be so far away though from the building, or no?
Well,
because if it's a medical card.
So I could be
aspect.
totally wrong, but Missouri, at least the Missouri Chamber has the stance that we don't want any laws that prohibit an employer or a business from doing business the way they think they should do it. So masks for COVID. If you still want your employees wearing masks, you have the right
gotcha.
to say that. If you think your employees should be vaccinated from COVID, you have the right to demand that in your business. So the same with smoking, with drugs, with drug tests, what have you. You have the right as an employer to make up those rules for your company.
So I would like to know from like Sheriff Aiken, like you were talking about, have illegal things that transpired as a result of marijuana gone down? Have any other problems gone up, like driving under the influence of marijuana, car accidents, fatalities, that sort of thing, thefts?
Yes.
How has it affected
Right.
one way or the other? Because I think if we have this data on sales, I would like to see the same data
Right.
Yeah, that's
as
what I
it
want to
as
see
it
too.
pertains to. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, how has it affected us as a society?
Right.
Are,
And I don't think
money
we have,
aside, are we making
in the state
progress?
of Missouri, it hasn't been legal long enough to have those statistics.
Yeah, it's only 3 months.
But we do have those statistics from Colorado and other states where it
Mm-hmm.
has been legal for several years now. And I don't remember what all my husband has told me, but he has studied these statistics and he has said, yes, incidents have gone up because of the legalization of marijuana.
Yeah, and you brought that when I talked with Sheriff Aiken. He did talk about talking with someone from Colorado, and I can't remember because we talked about so much that day. But he said that's what was preparing them for what they thought was coming with the issues that
Right.
they were having.
Yeah.
About having the dogs trained properly, having the officers trained properly, because like you said, fentanyl is now being laced in marijuana. There's different ways. He goes, the drug dealers have gotten smarter. So they're going around different ways to get their product into the youngsters' hands and the oldsters' hands, to still have it out there on the market. But he says at that time they weren't prepared for what they believe is coming. But that, like you said, it's only a couple months out. So
Right.
I know I talked to, like I said, when I went to Colorado, talked to my buddy about it, and he says, yeah, you see it and you hear about it, but you don't hear a lot of, you can smell it everywhere. Basically what he was saying.
But
Now,
that's when it was legalized by a state.
Yes.
Now it's legal by at the federal level, and that's a whole different ballgame, and there isn't a whole lot that law enforcement can do about it.
Right. And we talked about that. Yeah.
And that I will say that the difference between that smell is, that they need to flavor that. I mean, if we're going to make it legal, yeah, it is horrid.
Well, on another sense, did you see this has nothing sense, sense, right? This has nothing to do with that, but did you see, because we talked about vaping.
Yes.
Did you see the marker, magic marker?
No.
Yes. They said check your kids' backpack and all that, because now there's like a pink marker, like a
highlighter.
Highlighter. Yes, highlighter. That's what I wanted to say. But you open it up and it's a vaping tool. So
wow.
They're coming up with ways to get around anything,
yeah.
Whatever they need to do to get their product out there. And it's crazy to me.
So this was an interesting thing, and this came up yesterday. Someone was talking about it, who's more knowledgeable than I, but they were using China as an example. Hold on, just calm down. So, but China has very strict laws as it relates to drug trafficking and drug use. Number one, if you are caught trafficking drugs, it's the death penalty.
Oh.
Therefore, their drug traffickers are few and far between. And those that are drug traffickers today may not be drug traffickers tomorrow. Drug usage of any kind is completely illegal in China. So you cannot use drugs in China. And if you get caught, I don't think it's the death penalty, but it's some huge sentence, like 10 years in prison if you get caught.
Wow.
And the argument is that while we have all these drugs funneling into the United States, marijuana, fentanyl, you name it, we are becoming a society of useful idiots, I guess, and China is like, they're focused on the straight and narrow. And it hurts to say that China might be onto something, but in this one, maybe not the death penalty for drug trafficking, but it goes to show if you make the penalty and you enforce it serious enough, you'll get compliance with any kind of law. And
well, yeah, because now that it's been legalized, and I know from inside of my own home that a person who is straight-laced on the straight and narrow, but because it's been legalized, it's now been tried.
Right.
Where they never would have tried it before.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it, but
No, it's not me, and no.
But
we won't go into that.
So but look at our society as a whole. I realize there's the COVID thing and everything else, but our education level is dropping. Our students are failing. They're not as excelling like they should. Society as a whole, we're not keeping up. And China is passing us by. So it'll be interesting to see what stats come out.
Didn't we talk about here that we feel like we're going through the 60s again?
Yes.
We did.
Didn't we talk about that on here?
I don't know if we did, but I feel like I've had that conversation.
We had that conversation. That it feels like
cyclical.
all that free, the
history and power repeats itself.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And
Thank you, Mr. Coolman.
You know what came after 60s? The 70s, and then the best decade in the world, the 80s.
Right.
You have that to look forward to. Final thoughts coming up next.
Yeah.
Explore a place to visit. Explore knowledge. Explore fun. Explore relaxation. Explore adventure. Explore a hometown. Explore Kearney, Missouri.
And welcome back to Kearney Live. It's time for Final Thoughts. Let's start with Lynn.
Final thoughts. Did you know the Kearney Farmers Market is open? It opened last Saturday, and it's open from 7 a.m. to 12. Every Saturday. It's on the corner of 92 and 33. Like I said, every Saturday. Wonderful products there. I saw there was a food truck there. There's flowers, there's gifts, there's produce, and much more. So if you have time, go out Saturday mornings, 7 to 12, to help support our locals and check their products out. And also, I'm thankful that we said, how can we help people, that we can talk about these subjects on this show. And that's also, we get people to watch the show, they will kind of know what's going on.
That's right.
With the scams and everything.
And they need to go to the farmer's market.
And go to the
That's
farmer's
right.
market.
That's actually...
Go to the farmer's market.
Go to the farmer's market. Good quality stuff.
That's right. That's right.
What else you got?
So last night I had the honor and privilege of giving away 2 scholarships to a couple of phenomenal Kearney High School graduates. And there were just some incredible young people who were getting community scholarships last night. So I wanted to give a shout out to all of our Bulldogs who are graduating this in just next week, I believe it is. So congratulations to you all.
Yep.
Good luck in your future. But I want to give a very special shout out to my son, Kiefer, who will be graduating this Sunday.
Oh,
That's right. That's my boy. He's my youngest.
Aw.
Look at that sweet little face.
Oh, he's going to be so happy with that.
That's a good one. He'll be going to Mizzou for journalism school. He wants to learn how to make films. And we'll be empty nesters after this, but we sure are proud of this young man and all he's accomplished.
He wants to make films?
Yeah, documentaries.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, didn't we go to video?
Do what?
Film? Video?
Film. Video. It's still called film.
So anyway, it is, well, congratulations to him.
Thank you.
It is May. You know what that means? It's time to talk about football.
What?
Yes.
Football?
The Kearney Bulldogs
still
football
baseball
season
season.
has been released. Here is the
Wow.
schedule. Look at
All
that.
right.
So once again, this year is going to start off very tough. I don't know if Coach Minnick asked for that, if somebody doesn't like him or what the deal is.
Those first 3.
But those first 3 games are just like they were last year. You've got Platte County, Fort Osage, and Smithville.
Oh, wow.
Not that the rest of the schedule is a breeze, but the schedule is out. 102.7 KPGZ, we plan to be there once again, bringing you Kearney football action. And I will cover this because we cover it every year. It is our intention to do as many of the away games as we can, but like we've said before, some of these older stadiums don't have the infrastructure for us to broadcast from. So we are trying to make it so we can broadcast as many games as humanly possible. Along those lines, do I have time, Brian? Good. We keep getting questions. So if you have not yet, I'm going to give you a little insider information. If you have not yet, go download the 102.7 FM KPGZ app.
Yes.
Get that on your phone.
Yes.
And therefore you can listen to your car. And we have a lot of listeners and viewers of this show, actually, from all over the country. One of the questions that keeps coming up a lot is, are we going to increase our broadcast signal on 102.7 FM over the airwaves? I will tell you that we've had multiple conversations with analysts, experts in the radio field, and they have told us, don't do it. Because they said the way of the future is XM radio and apps.
Yeah.
Therefore, as it stands right now, because our app presence is strong, our over the internet presence is strong, our Vimeo presence is out of control.
Right.
We don't have any intention to spend money that we could use in other areas to increase the broadcast signal. We're going to keep the broadcast signal so those who are here in the immediate area will still hear it. But if you're like way down in Grandview or over in Shawnee Mission, get it on the app because you can listen into your car. And our own Brian Watts,
Woohoo!
our own Brian Watts, there he is, has
Find the right button.
he went through a big painstaking process to upgrade our signal quality, so it's a lot clearer, crisper, and all that sort of thing. So congratulations, Brian.
Yeah,
well done.
awesome.
Putting together the app and everything else.
That's right.
And you can send your thoughts to Brian Watts here at the station.
But to circle back around, we can hear Bulldog football on the app.
On the app.
Yep.
Awesome.
And you can hear it. And we have a lot of Bulldog football listeners all over the country.
Yes.
And actually, we had a group listening in Germany, was it, one time?
Wow.
Listening to the game. And we found the reason why they were doing it. I forget what it is now. But so you can listen to, literally, you can listen to KPGZ and Bulldog football and Bulldog basketball.
That's right.
And KMO-TV and this show anywhere in the world. I'm supposed to tell you, don't forget to join us on Saturdays at 11 Central, because you can listen to it anywhere. That'd be 12 o'clock on the East Coast.
Nice.
So anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll be here next week. Brian's giving me the wrap up, so we are out of here. We'll see you next time on Kearney Live.